Well, what we are saying is that although we're in an immeasurably better position thanks to the vaccine programme, we're still very much living with the virus, and we're going to be for a long time. And so we do need to exercise caution. The vaccine programmes enable us to move into a different phase where it's not going to be a matter of law that these restrictions and inhibitions remain in place, but it will be a matter of personal responsibility. And so we're asking every member of the public to be cautious, to come to sensible judgments about, for example, the wearing of masks in close contact in indoor spaces, and for businesses as well to consider whether they want to and need to apply those restrictions. And you can already see that organisations such as TfL, which manages the Tube in London, have come to, in my opinion, a perfectly sensible judgment that in the close confines of the Tube, you should be using a mask. And there's also some supermarkets that are coming to that conclusion as well. And we, as the government,
there are others, though, however, in the sector
that come to those conclusions.
Sure. There are others, however, in the sector that are suggesting that it's just another confused mess. I mean, Hugh Osmond, founder of the restaurant group Various Eateries, what was billed as Freedom Day is actually going to be Chaos Day. I can't see how anyone is supposed to know what to do. It's Wednesday, and I can't tell you what we're going to do on Monday. Roger Barker, Policy Director at the Institute of Directors, whilst it is right that companies should be allowed to make their own decisions based on their unique circumstances, it is vital that government provide businesses with best practice in developing their own policies. I mean, all of this is just simply passing the buck. You talk about personal responsibility, you're essentially handing all the responsibility over to the business leaders, the business community, and they don't know what to do.
Well, I disagree with that. We have provided.
You disagree with Hugh Osmond and Roger Barker?
With respect, I disagree with them. We've published guidance today, which you've been quoting, and the guidance reflects the huge diversity of businesses across the country. If you're a business that's operating in a space where there's lots of room, it's very unlikely that people are coming into close contact, then they'll come to a different judgment to, for example, Waterstones, who I understand have announced that they will be asking their customers to wear masks. And, you know, some of their stores are quite small. People might be lingering whilst they're reading books. And that seems, again, a logical decision. And so we trust businesses, just as we trust members of the public, to come to sensible,
I'm not so sure that the business community would agree. I'm not so sure the business community would agree that you trust them. I mean, not a mention of vaccine passports passed the Prime Minister's lips when he announced all of this on Monday. We're now hearing that COVID passports could be used to get into bars and restaurants.
Well, no. Once again, we're saying that there will be some situations where businesses might choose to pursue these policies using their best judgment. And in my experience of having talked to literally hundreds of businesses over the course of the last year, this is the sort of discretion that they want, reflecting the fact that businesses are often in very different situations, and a one-size-fits-all approach backed by the force of the law isn't sensible when we're moving into a period now where, in all likelihood, we're going to be living with the virus for a long time, and we need to take a different approach. That's what we're doing. And personally, I think that there's every reason to believe that members of the public and businesses and operators of transport systems, for example, like the tram here in the West Midlands, that those organisations will come to sensible conclusions. And I think that the evidence I've seen so far from the businesses that have announced their intentions, they do seem to be coming to logical decisions of what they intend to do, at least initially. Then no doubt they'll keep it under review as the virus progresses.
Part 2 of the Dimbleby food strategy released today, and an awful lot of talk around sugar and salt taxes. I mean, first and foremost, is that something that the government is considering? And secondly, I just wanted to find out your views on potentially sitting down to a plate full of cultured meat, which is another one of the interesting proposals being outlined today.
Well, this is an independent review. It was commissioned by government a couple of years ago, but we haven't had any control over the findings that Richard Dimbleby has come to. Henry Dimbleby, sorry, they're interesting findings. The Environment Secretary is going to consider them and then bring forward our own food strategy in the coming months. So I'm not going to comment on the individual proposals. It does raise a very significant issue for the whole country, clearly. Our relationship with food and farming is really important on a whole range of different levels, from backing those businesses here in the UK, instilling a sense of pride in us supporting local food, obviously health and health inequalities, which are even more prominent as we come out of the pandemic and our role internationally in striking trade deals and ensuring that we uphold high standards for our food supply. So there's a lot of very important issues that are raised by this report, but we're going to consider them carefully and then set out our own proposals in the coming months.